Anyone else? Okay, you guys. Yep. So what was
our topic was that TV is better than radio. So the context, I guess, since there exists two ways of receiving information, then people have to choose one medium, and obviously by choosing one, they have to give up another. Can't use both simultaneously. The most important value we thought was entertainment. How much joy people get out of each medium, and to measure that, I guess it's the audience engagement with each medium. So you might watch TV. Most people watch TV more rather than listen to radio. And the argument is that since most people own a TV set rather than a radio, and therefore people access TV more than radio, and TV provides both visual and audio as opposed to radio, which is just audio. So that way, your engagement with TV is obviously more than your engagement with radio, hence you're more likely to get joy out of it.
Sure, okay. So I come from like analysis saying that the more stimulation you have, like visual as well as audio, you're more likely to be engaged. That's really a great way to take it. And I think that's given as well, because you can say that radio has different qualities. It's got like not as many ways to engage you, but the way it does it's more impactful in a way. And there's arguments about how radio is good for that. It can influence you in a bad way, but you should have full attention to it. So it's really good job because we have that common there.
So when you give your argument, are you meant to acknowledge some of the decisions argument as well? Or just
only the reasons to explain why it's better. So
just focus on what's good.
Yeah, if there's an obvious weakness, like in this case, I think people might be wanting to make something.
Like you know, you
how to be fair to radio. If you keep saying that the engagement has an impact on the entertainment, that
so don't you say something like that? We acknowledge that radio may be important or something.
Oh no, great pleasure to flag the opposition arguments for them. Very charged for you, but they'll enjoy that. So again, yeah, exactly. The only way you phrase like things that are against your argument would be just to make your argument stronger. I was in the debate the other day about the legalizing all drugs, and in that debate, we were affirmative, and we didn't mention the fact that addiction influences people's choices afterwards, so it's not always a free choice. That would have been an argument very good from the beginning, not by mentioning that it's good that people get addicted, because that would contradict that point. But if we say that we recognise addiction happens, and we still think it's a valid choice, then like explaining that and why that's the case would have made our argument stronger, and that was feedback I got afterwards. So I'm still in this as well. But I definitely don't give them, don't get up to them and speak to that. We recognise all this, and we recognise that they're going to bring up this material. It really undermines your own material, so just use it to strengthen your own case and explain why your points still overcome. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Awesome. Round of applause. Maybe after that. What was your topic?
Science.
Science is better.
Science. Yeah, it should be. Our context is which part of people be more likely to be inclined towards, like science or arts. That's our context. And our hierarchy of values. So the value become most important were like individual preference. Like every individual differs from one another, so their preferences would naturally differ. So which one do they be, science or arts?
That's right.
Our criteria is what the impact of these individuals would have on society. Like society prospers if an individual realizes his or her potential, full potential. And we think that science is better because science, you can achieve more with science. It's based on facts and real life phenomenon. And because we understand that, we can go about trying to explain any natural disasters that come up, for instance, like in Japan. And with science, we could determine the radiation level. Therefore, people will know what radius they would avoid being in.
Yeah. So that's good.
Organic.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like LinkedIn stuff to like front and share will be a lot easier in the topics you'll have because they'll be more about economic directions than different very broad example topics. But it's good to draw those things into as an example. I think you obviously keep linking that back to your values. So if you say individual preference is our main value, then like once you explain why people get satisfaction from science, explain why that is therefore individual preference as opposed to a really one. So keep explaining why it supports your value that you've chosen. That's great. Fantastic. Great. Lastly, to you guys, we had a really hard one. We changed it. We went green is better than blue.
Yeah, green is better than blue. The context is about the environment. It's like green stands for. We talked about like the green thing. It's also in the context of environmental. And then to see environment stand for green, and then to see one for blue, and the hierarchy of values is.
What was really tricky this one? Do you remember what it was? The value that you said was most important to you?
Is it the environment?
Yeah.
The environment is the hierarchy of values, and then how to measure it is
This is really tricky. You guys actually really well with this, and I was surprised to find out when trying to practice with you that it turns out trying to argue that blue is better than green is actually a harder debate than green is better than blue. So there's actually a difference, at least I found when I was trying to practice with that. But yeah, in terms of the context, we try to narrow it down. That was so abstract, we shouldn't give you that one. It's really abstract, the others we all have something to argue about. Green and blue, you've got to really narrow it down, it's too broad. So a couple of options we talked about. One option we talked about fashion, for example. Like most people see colour, you've really got to narrow it. We ended up going with the environment. And we looked at a specific example, which was probably a thought bubble of mine, what was anything else. But the idea of some people are converting their pools into like swamps and natural habitats for animals. So I think green in that case is better than blue because when there's algae in the natural environment and then there's more people on the land, something to cool off. So I guess the criteria that you could go from that would be along the lines of a greater number of organisms are going to be benefited. Rather than one person going to pull off on one day and then go inside and make a future house, you'll have a whole bunch of animals and wildlife being able to benefit, and that's like how you measure it. This is better because it benefits more individual life forms than a pool benefit like humans. That makes sense? That kind of structure? Yeah, it was a cycle, so you guys can figure out that. Right, not over to those guys. Okay, we are pretty much out of time, I think.